Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into stopping smoking. It's a huge step for anyone's health, and honestly, there's just so much solid research now on how to do it effectively.
There really is.
And you, listening, you've pointed us towards some great sources on this. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Cut through the noise, give you a clear, usable look at what actually works for quitting smoking for good. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. It's a path many people take, and, the science behind quitting successfully is pretty clear now.
So where do we start? The why, I suppose. Why is quitting so vital?
Well, the headline reason, obviously, is cancer risk. It drops dramatically. But what's maybe less known is the sheer number of cancers involved. Quitting lowers your risk for at least 16 types.
16? Wow. Okay, that's a lot more than just lung cancer then.
Oh, definitely. Lung cancer is the big one people associate with smoking, but it really affects the whole body.
And it's not just cancer, is it? I mean, the other health upsides seem massive too.
They really are. You're looking at a much lower risk of serious heart attacks, strokes, and lung conditions like COPD, that chronic breathing difficulty. It all gets less likely.
And just feeling better day to day.
That too. People often notice it pretty quickly. Breathing gets easier. Maybe that constant tiredness lifts. You just feel healthier, have more energy.
That sounds incredible. And I read something about mental well-being improving as well, which might seem counterintuitive initially.
Yeah, it's an important one. While quitting can initially make you feel stressed or anxious, that's the withdrawal. The long-term data shows people who quit successfully often report lower levels of depression, anxiety, and stress.
Interesting. So short-term pain for long-term mental gain, potentially.
Kind of, yeah. Plus, there's the peace of mind knowing you're not harming others with secondhand smoke. That's huge, especially if you have kids or vulnerable family members.
Absolutely. And didn't the sources mention appearance and money?
They did. Smoking, well, it affects your skin, your teeth. Quitting can actually help improve your appearance. And the financial saving, it's significant. Depending on how much you smoke, it could be thousands a year.
Thousands. That's a holiday. Or saving.
Exactly. And here's a really positive thing. More and more people are successfully quitting. The numbers are going up. So, it shows it absolutely can be done.
That's really good to hear. Okay, so people are motivated. They want to quit.
Yeah.
But then they hit the nicotine addiction wall. Can you break that down a bit?
Sure. Nicotine is the chemical in tobacco that hooks you. It's highly addictive. Your body gets used to having it.
And when you stop?
That's withdrawal. Your body reacts to not having the nicotine it expects.
Right. And what does that actually feel like? What are the common symptoms people should brace themselves for?
It varies, but common things include feeling pretty down, maybe depressed, anxious, definitely irritable or restless. Hunger often increases. You might find it hard to concentrate. Sleep can get messed up. And of course, you get those strong urges, those cravings to smoke. Some people feel physically unwell too, maybe nauseous or headaches.
Sounds like a rough ride. How long does that usually last? There an end in sight?
There is. It's usually worst in the first few days. That's the peak. Then, generally, symptoms start to ease off over the next, say, 2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4 weeks. Manageable.
It is. Oh, and sometimes if you had a cough from smoking, it might actually get a bit worse for a short time when you quit. That's just your lungs clearing out the gunk.
Good to know that's normal then. So it's tough, but temporary. And the good news is there are tools and support systems specifically designed to help people through this, right?
Absolutely. And this is where seeking help really, really makes a difference. The evidence is super clear. Getting support from the free local stop smoking services gives you the best chance of success.
Free local services, how do people find those?
They're set up to be accessible. You can usually get help in person or online. There are national numbers too. For England, it's 0300 123 1244.
Okay.
Wales is 0800 085 2219, and Scotland is 0800 84 84 84. They offer real practical support.
Alongside that support, what about actual treatments? Medicines?
Yep. There are prescription medicines your doctor can give you. These work by reducing the cravings and making those withdrawal symptoms less intense.
Needs a prescription, though.
Correct. And then there's nicotine replacement therapy, NRT. That's probably more well known.
Right. Patches, gum, that kind of thing. How does NRT help?
It gives you nicotine, which your body's craving, but without all the other nasty chemicals in cigarette smoke, so it eases the withdrawal safely.
Makes sense. Breaking the habit without the worst of the physical withdrawal.
Exactly. And there are different types. Patches give a slow, steady dose, while things like gum, lozenges, or nasal sprays give a quicker hit for sudden urges. You can get some NRT on prescription, often via the Stop Smoking services or your GP, but you can also buy many types over the counter at a pharmacy.
Okay. And then there are e-cigarettes or vapes. They seem to be everywhere. How do they fit in?
Vapes deliver nicotine in a vapor, not smoke. Because they don't burn tobacco, they're far, far less harmful than cigarettes. They can help because they give you the nicotine, satisfy cravings, and also mimic the hand-to-mouth action of smoking.
Which can be a big part of the habit itself.
A very big part, but it's really important to stress. Vapes are a tool for people trying to stop smoking or to prevent ex-smokers going back to cigarettes. They're definitely not for non-smokers or young people.
That's a critical distinction. Okay, so we have support services, prescription meds, NRT, vapes. What's the absolute best bet, according to the research? Is there a gold standard approach?
The strongest evidence points towards combining things. So using a stop smoking treatment like NRT or prescription medicine and getting that specialist support from the local services.
So attacking it from both angles, the physical addiction and the behavioral side.
Precisely. You get the medicine to help with the physical cravings and withdrawal, and you get the expert advice and support to help you change habits, cope with triggers, and stay motivated. That combination gives the best odds of quitting for good.
What exactly do those local services do in those support sessions?
They offer quite a bit. It's often free one-on-one sessions with a trained advisor. They'll help you make a quit plan, figure out your triggers.
Personalized help?
Yes. Or sometimes they run group sessions, which is great because you meet others in the same boat. They can also help you get stop smoking treatments, advise on NRT, and give you proper guidance if you're thinking of using an e-cigarette to quit.
Sounds incredibly useful. But what if someone doesn't want to go to a formal service, or maybe they can't easily get to one? Are there other ways to get support?
Yeah, definitely. There are other good options. The NHS has free email support programs. You get regular tips and encouragement. There's also the NHS Quit Smoking app, which is really popular. Lots of tools and tracking features on your phone. And for peer support, there's an NHS smoke-free online community, usually on Facebook, where people share experiences and support each other.
So plenty of avenues, even if the local service isn't right for you.
Yeah.
Good. Now, something that worries people, weight gain. Is that inevitable when you quit smoking?
It's a valid concern, and yes, some people do gain some weight. A big review suggested the average was around 4 kilos, maybe 9 pounds, in the first year after quitting.
Okay, 4 kilos. So it does happen.
It can happen, but, and this is important, not everyone gains weight. And it's not usually a massive amount, nor is it guaranteed to stay on long term.
Why does it happen, though?
Several reasons, potentially. Nicotine itself can slightly suppress appetite and maybe boost metabolism a tiny bit, so when you remove it, those effects reverse. Also, people might reach for snacks more, maybe to deal with cravings or just the hand-to-mouth habit.
Right, so how should someone balance that potential weight gain against the benefits of quitting?
Honestly, the health benefits of quitting smoking are so enormous, they vastly outweigh the concern about gaining a few pounds. We're talking huge reductions in risk for killer diseases, cancer, heart disease, stroke, lung disease. It's just, there's no comparison.
So focus on the quitting first.
Absolutely. If weight becomes an issue later on, talk to your doctor. They can help. But quitting smoking is the priority.
That puts it in perspective. Okay, let's shift to practical tips. Someone's decided, right, I'm doing this. What are the top things they should actually do?
Okay, key things. First, set a quit date, like a specific day. Circle it on the calendar, tell people, make it concrete.
Got it. What else?
Prepare for the tough times. Think ahead about when you usually smoke, what triggers cravings, then plan how you'll deal with those moments without a cigarette. Have a strategy ready.
Proactive planning. Makes sense.
Definitely seek help. Use those free local services. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist. Don't try to white-knuckle it alone if you don't have to.
Use the support that's there.
Yes. And tell your friends and family you're quitting. Ask for their support and understanding. It helps. Also, and this is crucial, keep trying. Most people take a few attempts to quit for good. If you slip up, don't see it as failure. Learn from it, reset, and go again.
Persistence is key. That's reassuring. Any other day-to-day tips?
Yeah, focus on your reasons for quitting. Why are you doing it? Write those reasons down, stick them on the fridge, Set reminders on your phone, keep them front and center.
Motivation reminders, good one.
Change your routines. If you always smoked after dinner, go for a walk instead. Break those old associations. And keep busy, especially your hands and mind when a craving hits. Exercise is great, hobbies, fiddling with a pen, stress ball, anything to distract yourself.
Great practical stuff. Now, about NRT, you mentioned different types. How do people use it most effectively?
Good question. Well, understanding the types helps. Patches give that slow, steady release of nicotine, good for background cravings. But things like gum, lozenges, sprays, they work faster for those sudden, intense urges.
So maybe use both.
Often, yes. Combining them can be really effective. A patch for all-day cover plus gum or a spray for breakthrough cravings. But the best bet is to talk to a professional stop smoking advisor, pharmacist, doctor. They can advise on the right type, the right strength, and how long to use it for.
Tailored advice again.
Exactly. And remember, NRT is safe. Nicotine itself doesn't cause cancer. It's the other stuff in smoke. You can use NRT as long as you need it to stay smoke-free.
That's a really important point about safety. Okay, switching to e-cigarettes. If someone chooses that route, how can they make it work best for quitting?
Right, if using a vape, first thing is make sure it's charged and you've got spare e-liquid. Nothing worse than it running out when you need it.
Good practical tip.
Second, get the nicotine strength right. You need enough to manage your cravings. If it's not working, you might need a stronger liquid initially. You might need to experiment a bit.
Finding the sweet spot.
Yeah, and also experiment with different devices and flavors. What works for one person might not work for another. Finding a setup you find satisfying is key to sticking with it over cigarettes.
Makes sense. Finally, you mentioned prescription meds earlier. Varenicline and bupropion. Anything else people need to know?
Just that they are another effective option. They work differently from NRT, acting on the brain to reduce cravings and make smoking less satisfying. But, as we said, they need a prescription.
So talk to the doctor.
Exactly. Have a conversation with your GP. They can assess if one of these is suitable for you, explain how it works, potential side effects, and get you started if it's the right choice.
Okay. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. So boiling it all down, what's the single most important takeaway message for someone listening right now?
I think the main thing is, stopping smoking is tough, no doubt, but it is absolutely 100% achievable. The health benefits start almost immediately and are massive, and crucially, there's so much good help available now. Free services, treatments.
You don't have to do it alone.
Not at all. The strategies we've talked about, the support systems, they're based on solid evidence. They work. So reach out and use them.
That's a really positive note to end on. It is achievable, and help is there.